everybody, it's your girl Sherry. Welcome back to another episode of Alleged Actually Podcast. Y'all, if you're new over here, we do reality TV recaps, we do pop culture segments, and we do some interviews. We're going to get back to that. So today we are going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nashville Hold'em, Season 16, Episode 7. So before I get into the recap, do me a favor, guys. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to our next goal of 6K subscribers. We're getting close, but we need your help. If you watch us, go ahead and subscribe and join the Actualizer family. Also, go ahead and like this live. It's a free way to support the channel, y'all. We appreciate each and every one of you. And if you would please share with the masses. And come on, slide in our comments and let us know what you thought about the episode, what you thought about the recap, and some of the things that I'm going to bring up this evening. Now, I also want to shout out a very special actualizer who has been so faithful and watches our commentary and always comments. Reality Connoisseur, I just want to say, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always supporting the channel and giving your feedback. We appreciate you, and we are so glad to have you as part of the Actualizer family. All right, guys. Did y'all watch last night's episode? Okay. Like I said, it was called Nashville Hold'em, honey. And we are coming off of the backlash of the peace brunch that Kelly had put together for the ladies. We know as that episode ended, Britt got kind of crunk with Angela Oakley because she questioned the fact whether when Brittany was saying that her insurance license had been compromised, taken, and Angela was like, based off what? Because Angela holds a broker's license. And so she was questioning on what basis, because generally speaking, you just don't lose your license because of rumors or because of something like that. You know, there has to be an investigation. And what I found so annoying, Brittany got real based, read the effing room. Y'all, she's problematic. I'm sorry, she's problematic. And I've said this many times. I believe that Britt is going to be a one and done. If not, I think Bravo would be getting it wrong. So if y'all haven't caught my recap on Kenya's Confessionals, it's up. Go take a look at that. I have my thoughts on her YouTube confessional. Yeah, I didn't hold y'all long, but I had a few things to say. So if you haven't seen that, go over there and check it out. So anyway, yeah, she had all that bass for Angela. And when we open the show, Britt is doing a little retail therapy, honey, at the Ferrari dealership. Her and her husband are there. She's been having a rough couple of weeks, but she wants her husband to lift her spirits by taking her to possibly get a Ferrari, child. I mean, those cars were banging, but we don't know if she drove off the lot with anything. So there's that. Then we're over at Angela Oakley's, and she's preparing for Drew to come by. Drew comes by, and they talk about the fallout from the peace brunch. First things first, y'all. Angela calls out Drew about that lying. One thing Drew Sidora does is lie. How she told those ladies that Michael Jordan was her cousin. Drew be tearing my nerves up, y'all. What do y'all think? She's an okay part of the ensemble, but I'm not a Drew fan. The lying is unnecessary. It's silly. To me, it reduces her, her character. She has a redeeming quality moment in this episode, and we'll get to it. But Miss Adora, please stop with the lying. Anyway, she calls her out on it. Drew says she was just joking, that she's, could be his cousin, but she's not. And then, Angela shades the peace brunch, saying, she was worn out, talking about the food was halfway good, and particularly talking about the grits weren't cooked enough. Come on, ma'am. Now, you know Kelly has her brunch spot, Nana's Chicken and Waffles. So she knows her way around some grits. I thought that was shady. I do like Angela a lot, though, by the way. Then we go over to Cynthia. She's coming over to Kelly's house, and we get the chance to see Kelly's sister. I love how much Kelly is allowing us in. She's really a great addition to the cast. I am just here for Little Miss Fun Size Kelly Farrell. Love her. And Cynthia's talking about what kind of man she's looking for. We know now that she's dating a musician who is considerably younger than her. But she's talking about, how the younger guys are. Child, she goes into a montage of things that she's looking for. She's had 2 marriages that did not pan out. There's Peter Thomas and Mike Hill. So listen, she's got some criteria she's trying to get at. And Shamia comes by and Porsha. So they're all at Kelly's to talk about the fallout of the priest brunch. And we have a little brief segment about Kelly's dog, Cha-Cha. Child, for all you animal lovers, I know some people are fuming about the way that she keeps her dog colorful. But she does explain that someone took her dog and she had to find her dog on Craigslist. And so Mama said, you try to take my fur baby again, it's going to be obvious whose fur baby you have. So she keeps Cha-Cha all the way colored up, baby. Can't say I blame her. So, again, they're talking about the brunch. And basically, we go back over real quick to Britt and her husband. Y'all, I cannot stand Britt's nasal talking, the way she talks. Child, if that is based off of a nose job, she needs to get another one. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That nasal voice, I am not here for. And there's a lot of things I'm not here for. I didn't like, again, and I said this on my other video yesterday, I'm not here for what Kenya did, but I am not enjoying Britt Edie now. She's coming off now. She's trying to seize the moment that Kenya has been put off the show. She's celebratory in it. She's now trying to make that her shine as being the victim of this horrible thing. And I mean, it was bad, but I mean, she's leaning into it for, gain, for clout for the show. So it's kind of getting on my nerves. Y'all let me know what you think about it, but that's not it, ma'am. So for now, she's laser focused on Angela. When she was at the Peace Brunch, she wanted support from all the ladies. She did not like that they were upset that Kenya was not at the brunch, that Kenya is no longer filming. And Angela, had questioned her about her license being investigated, that she's losing her license. And she was saying that based on the fact that she's, questioning her, she feels like Angela lacks empathy. But she said her license is in fact being investigated. And then y'all, she throws a little shade and says, honey, Angela needs to worry about her husband having a baby on her. Ugh. Yeah, that rumor's in these streets. I don't know. But Britt is not coming off very likable at all, y'all. So she's put that out there. We go back over to Angela's and she says that she had hoped that Britt would have been a little more humble. Seeing his house, not like Kenya just lambasted her for no reason. She did the whole, I got my pew pew and whips and, who you think you're messing with and all this rah-rah stuff and all this coming for Kenya. It was a lot. It was unhinged and it was unnecessary. And this is when Drew lets her know that Miss Edie has reached out to her, actually, and invited her to have a drink. That scene is, that was a good scene. Drew said that she's talking about the judge, because she's now talking about her divorce also, and that he's pushing to get the case, or that her attorney is pushing the judge to get the case to be, or that Ralph is pushing to have the judge to unseal the case. Drew would like for their case to stay sealed, and that's because she says that she wants to protect her children. Ralph has a different opinion of that, and we'll get to that. And Angela asked her if Ralph is jealous of Dennis, and Drew claims that Dennis and Ralph talked prior to them working together, and that she talked to Porsha prior to them working together. Child, y'all know Drew be lying. At any rate, she claimed that they had the go ahead, and then all of a sudden now everybody's jealous. But I don't know. Like I said, Drew be lying. Maybe Drew and me are cousins. The whole line thing. So going over there to Porsha. Portia's telling Cynthia and the ladies that, look, she's moved past it. She ain't really talked to Drew, but she's at the point where they can coexist. She's like, I'm moving past it. And in confessional, Cynthia's like, nah, she might be, front for y'all, but she's far from moving past it. And she definitely does care a lot. And this is when Porsha invites the girls to Nashville for her birthday, Cowboy Carter style. Y'all, every franchise, every season does a girls trip. We got the cast trip already getting started in episode 7. And so what I thought was crazy, y'all, Angela then, she decides that she's going to extend an invitation to Drew as her +1. Y'all gotta weigh in on the comments and let me know how you felt about that, because I honestly wasn't here for that. I mean, that's Porsha's trip. Porsha wants to get away for her birthday, and she wanted to invite her group. She's inviting the ladies minus Drew, plus Lauren, her sister, Monietta, and a few other of her closest friends. And she does not want Drew there. She says she can coexist, but it's her birthday. So I thought that was bold of Angela. And at first, Drew's like, I have enough drama going on. However, if Porsha's cool with it, I'll go. So now we have the scene with Kelly teaching her daughter how to drive. I thought that was cute, honey. I've been there, done that. Gotta have nerves of steel, child. But like I said, I really enjoy how Kelly is letting us in to her day-to-day, her family, her with her daughters. We meet her sister, her businesses. She's really setting herself up to be a formidable, sustainable housewife. So I really think Kelly is not going to be a one and done. I see her as maybe even the new face of the newbies. You know what I mean? So Shamia is also in the studio working with B Flat. She's working on her song. Angela is making fries, and she talks about her nose. So she lets us in about the whole pinched nose. She goes back to her picture, and this is why I love Angela too, right? I think Angela's a great addition. She talks about how when she first got her nose job, it was really, really pinched. And so then she got Botox to kind of open it up, and then that didn't go so hot. And so she's asking the kids what they think, and they're clowning her. What I love about Angela is she don't take herself too seriously, y'all. She can joke with herself. She's kind of low key with it. She's smooth with it. She can read slightly. She don't have to go the rah-rah stuff. I believe she can get there. But I like her easiness about it. She's low key, but she allows, the banter with her and Charles and even the kids. She doesn't mind folks roasting her or being the butt of the joke, for the good of the scene. I dig Angela. So Cynthia and Porsha, they're now talking about the fact that they can't believe that Porsha is now going through this divorce with Simon. And that's kind of a lot of the reason why Porsha really wants this girls' trip. She wants to get away. Britt and Drew. We go to the scene with them, and they meet for drinks, honey, and Miss Drew. Now, this is when I think Drew has her MVP moment. Because, listen, she was the one that stuck around with Kenya toward the end. And so, truth be known, y'all, and it wasn't true, but when Porsha had alluded to that there was a housewife that was still filming that had given Kenya those receipts, being that Drew was kind of sticking around when everybody else kind of bounced, I was wondering, was it her? But I don't think so. No. Kenya says nobody gave her anything. So I think that was Porsha just wanting to get us to come over there to her little YouTube channel, her big YouTube channel. But nonetheless, the ladies have drinks. They are going to indulge in some good old lemon drops. And Drew just gets straight on down to business, child. She asked Miss Britt if she sold cat. And Britt says no. And she asks her if she's ever done corn, minus the C, add the P. And she does not. She said she did not. She said that she was a webcam girl and that she didn't really do anything too risque, that she was just basically up there having conversations and she made a lot of money. Child, whatever. Like, listen, I'm not here to bash. I don't know if I believe that, but listen, that's how you got your bag back in the day. When you're young, you do things you wouldn't do as you get older. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm not here for shaming somebody for things they've done in their, past. But that's the story. And that's Drew just kind of letting her know, look, it just came off at the brunch when you were talking about Kenya not being here and I'm here and she's gone. It came off as if you were celebrating it. She said it came off as celebratory, and I agree, which was very off-putting. So Drew's like, I'm just trying to get to know you and where you're coming from. And I respect Drew for that because as Kenya's friend, as, her castmate, you have someone new coming in that you don't know and you're shaking things up like that. You're sending OGs off the island. So there's that. And so Britt's just basically telling her, look, there were 3 days I couldn't even get out of bed. She's really having a hard time with it. And so they talk a little more, and Drew and her decide they're going to move forward. And Britt asks her, can she move forward with Porsha? And then Drew takes a sip of the drink, kind of leaving us hanging there. All right. So now, y'all, we're in home video zone. Ralph has his home video. Drew has hers, and they're getting ready to go to court. Now, let me tell y'all a little about this. So Drew wants the records to be sealed for their divorce. And her reasonings are she doesn't want it to be out there for her kids to have to see and deal with. She prefers, her ask is that the judge continue to have the divorce records sealed, that Ralph do his, open up and give out his financial documents. So for him to fully disclose his financial documentation and for Ralph to get out of the basement, for him to move. Ralph, on the other hand, wants the opposite. He wants the court documents to be unsealed and he wants to stay in the basement. And he's with his cousin, Drew's with her sister Allison, and on the car ride over, he's basically like, she wants you to get out of the basement you pay for. So you guys know we learned last week that Ralph is supposedly paying all the bills. And so he feels like he shouldn't have to leave his home. So anyway, it ends up that it does not go in Drew's favor, that the judge, in fact, allows the records to become unsealed. Ralph can stay in the basement, and he didn't have to give up all his financial documents. So, because Ralph has an attorney. And as a matter of fact, y'all, Ralph was busy tweeting or on X last night when we were watching the episode. So he had a little something to say on his Twitter, honey. And he said, and this is kind of what I was thinking about, and you guys slide in the comments and let me know. We know Drew tends to not tell the truth. The fact that she was so upset to the point of tears when she particularly found out that the court docs were going to be unsealed. I mean, she admits that she wasn't perfect, but she said that what Ralph did was way worse than her. Honey, Ralph claps back, and he has to say, the only reason someone wants files unsealed is because it holds truths they don't want out. I'm sorry that what fans believed all this time was just a storyline. It's great acting. What's real? I'm fighting for at least 50-50 custody of my kids. Hashtag Roa. So Ralph is not staying silent. He's speaking out, y'all. And he's done invited us over to his YouTube, Ralph Pittman TV. So for those of y'all that want to go over there and hear furthermore on what he has to say, and he had another tweet And he says, thanks to my attorney, Precious Anderson, for taking over my case and having our records unsealed. You clearly see through the smoke and mirrors. My kids mean the world to me, and your game plan will make sure I maintain a relationship with them. You are the true MVP. So there's more to that. We're gonna have to watch how that unfolds. I'm gonna have to say this, y'all. I was thinking last night when I was watching it too that Drew may have some things, some skeletons she don't want out, and she seemed very upset that those court records were unsealed, and so there's that. All right. Well, now, y'all, we're getting ready for the cast trip. The ladies are getting ready to go to Nashville. Everybody shows up ready to go. Porsha's got her cowboy Carter thing. Y'all, Porsha. She looked banging as always, honey. She did. She was rocking her cowboy Carter outfit. But all the ladies are going sans Drew, but we know that Angela has invited her. Angela is late. She missed her flight. And so Kelly makes a joke about she probably missed the flight because she heard about how hot the heat wave in Nashville. And Miss Angela keeps that fan, baby. Child, I understand, honey. Them hot flashes be real. So I am not mad at you, Angela. The ladies arrive at a beautiful house. And we already know that there's always going to be a room situation, honey. There's not quite enough rooms. They got a room that has 6 beds in it. Porsha's got the suite, of course. It's her birthday. Shamia gets the next nicest suite. And then we have Kelly and Britt. I can't remember, everybody was in the 6 rooms, child. But I know that she does save the room that's downstairs, a little full suite for Miss Angela Oakley. And so, y'all, as we move along, Kelly asked how it was planning a birthday this year, while going through a divorce. We know that Kelly's also going through a divorce. We know Drew's going through a divorce. Porsha's going through a divorce. So they should all be really supportive of each other. And Porsha lets us know that, it's kind of strange. The past 3 years, they have done their birthdays together because they both have birthdays in June. And so that's why she needs to get away. Miss Angela arrives, y'all. And she comes on in while the ladies are breaking bread. And it doesn't take long for her to let out of the bag that she thought it would be a good idea to have Miss Drew join them on the trip. Before we get there, honey, did y'all notice how when Britt and Kelly was in the room, kind of getting themselves settled, how Brittany said she brought locks in case the women start acting funny? Y'all, Britt gives off some energy that is crazy to me. I mean, locks, I get it, right? Like you don't want somebody still, but I mean, you're on a cast with women that have what you have and then some. Why are you worrying about that? And like, she just seems to have this weird energy, y'all. And I don't know. I think they're going to find out that they let go of the wrong person. I mean, Kenya, she does go low down, but Britt should have gone right behind her because there's something off about that girl, honey. There is something off. Y'all slide in the comments and let me know. I mean, Kelly said she brought her sage, and I can see about the sage and wanting energy, but you got to lock stuff up. It just, I don't know. Everything about her just now seems off. And I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit more on edge because of how unhinged she got watching her and her reactions to things. But y'all let me know what you thought. So at this point, the ladies are checking in with their husbands. Biggest takeaway of that, child. Charles can't hear Angela. It's still that funny banter. Drew calls Angela. And she lets Angela know, since court didn't go so well, that she's extra sensitive now and she has to protect her peace. But Angela is still trying to convince her to come. Then we go to the scene where Kelly brings her stylist, Paris. Y'all, Kelly is a girl's girl, right? Because she feels so bad for Britt, she allows her stylist because Miss Britt does not have one. And all her Miss Fabulousness and her being such a bad bee, she doesn't have a stylist, honey. So Kelly let her have Paris. Child, we find out later they fall out. I mean, it's even in some of the later footage where Britt calls her a hobbit. So there's more to follow on that. We're gonna be following that. Um, so like I said, Angela lets Porsha know that she has in fact invited Drew. She didn't ask, she really told her. Porsha in her confessional says at this point she's feeling bullied, honey, by Miss Angela, telling her who she should invite to her birthday party. But Porsha is trying to have a good time, child, and so they carry on. So the ladies meet up. We see Lauren and the ladies meet up with the other castmates, and they go have themselves a good time on that bull riding. Bull riding champs go to Miss Kelly. Little Miss Fun Size stayed on that bull for 49 seconds, y'all. And Shamia, to not be outdone, she was on there for 51 seconds. All right. So now at this point, y'all, the ladies get ready to sit down and eat. Honey, you always hear me and Joey say it is something about dinner time on these cast trips. They never go well, but they are having dinner. And at this point, Drew is over at Crew, which is Dennis's hookah bar, celebrating her getting a record deal. Now, I got to give Drew credit. This confessional look she had was fire for her. I loved it. All their confessional looks like, I mean, this is not the best picture of Kelly, but she had a banging confessional look too. I'm here for the confessional looks. I really am. Did want to tell you too, Miss Edie, when Angela came in, she was still kind of picking at Angela, asking her, I guess when they saw each other at the mall, and Brittany tried to throw some shade about her appearance and the fact that she was trying to get in and out. But apparently, Angela embraced Britt, and she wanted to know if it was sincere. Angela says it is, honey. She can move on with things. That's one thing I like about her. I mean, she can let stuff go until she don't have to. We find out Angela's got a size 12 shoe, honey. And Porsha gets a little crunk with her at the dinner. She said, look, now, I know she's here with her friends, but, Porsha's like, you telling me who I can and can't have at my birthday, and I was there for that. I think that was a bit much. I think Angela overstepped by inviting Drew, and maybe her heart was in the right place, y'all. I don't know. Slide in the comments and let me know what you think about it. But from her perspective, she wanted them to make amends, that everybody could have a good time on the trip. And y'all, one of Porsha's friends bring up about Drew and Dennis, and they say that Drew sucked up on Dennis. And Porsha says, well, you know what? He's good for saying, whenever she asked if he's messed with somebody, he would just say, nah, she just gave me some fellatio. So, they're putting that narrative out there that Drew and Dennis have something going on. And I mean, it's not like Drew is not playing into that storyline. I don't know. Porsha's even said that she thinks that they all kind of got together, her, Ralph, and Dennis, to do the storyline and get on her nerves. Quiet as it's kept, to be honest with you, I think Porsha's in on it too. Because, I mean, I'm sure when Porsha first came on, she had every intention before things went awry with Simon to let us into her fabulous lifestyle. Then when she tried to leave, honey, he wouldn't let her film in the mansion. So she had to get creative. So are y'all buying it? Slide in the comments and let me know. What do y'all think about the storyline with Drew and Dennis and Porsha? But that is where the episode ended. We're going to find a inebriated Porsha that is going to go off, y'all. And I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it. Drew's going to be there. It's going to be a showdown. Y'all let me know. Are y'all enjoying Real Housewives of Atlanta? What do you think about the episode? What do you think about Britt? You think she's one and done? Do you believe the storyline with the Drew and Dennis thing? Do you think Angela was wrong for inviting Drew? So I want to hear from you guys. Slide in the comments And y'all be back over here for the Bravo Bestie Breakdown. I'm going to have me and Joey are coming back. Looks like we are going to start recapping The Valley. So I hope you guys are watching The Valley. And then when it starts, we're going to start giving you some commentary on Love Hotel. So more is coming up. So you guys got to keep tuning in. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you'll know when we drop that good content. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you later in the week. Y'all have a great one. Bye.